Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, we're going to be working on double sticks. This is actually a practical technique that you could use for self-defense, so that's really cool. But more importantly, it develops important body mechanics and it links boxing together with Eskrima. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing is, this is going to be your starting position like this. And from here, you're just going to go 1 and 2. It's a nice and simple exercise. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice and simple, just like that, all right? So if you're out like in the wilderness and you have a tomahawk or a hatchet in your hand, and then in the other hand you find like a nice and thick branch, okay, you got two weapons in your hand and there's like a wild animal that's trying to attack you guys, you could keep it at bay, keep it off of you guys like this. Go real fast, 1, 2, 1, 2, just keep it off like that. Now, when you get the chance, you're going to want to use power to command respect, okay? You got to really threaten it to know that it's a bad idea, okay? So in order to do that, same thing, except you're going to put in a follow through. So you're going to go all the way through, okay, when you get the chance. Now you don't want to do that immediately, or you don't want to keep doing that because you're going to be wide open, all right? So at first you just use speed, but when you get the chance, then you're going to put in the follow through just like that, all right? So this is a practical technique, and what we're doing here is we're going from side to side. As you see, I'm turning, I'm pivoting, like if I did a golf swing, you know? Like if I did a golf swing, I'm pivoting and I'm actually facing that way. And I go this way, boom, now I'm facing this way. So it's pivoting all the way like this, like that, just like that. So I'm going side to side. Now using that logic, if I'm going side to side, I can go diagonal. I can go diagonal. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. So from here, instead of going this way and this way, we're going to go this way. 1, 2. That's my diagonal line that I just followed right here. The important thing to be careful about is I go 1, and then on number 2, you don't want to hit your elbow because that will incapacitate you. Okay, so just go 1 and 2. Put it into muscle memory. Practice 1 and 2. Practice 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Diagonal line from point A to point B this way in this motion, and then I'm going from here to there, and that makes an X. And anytime you make an X, you should know from your figure 8 training with single stick that an X becomes a figure 8, all right? The X pattern is a figure 8 pattern. All right, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing here too. So I'm traveling this diagonal line, and the important part is after I do it, bam, bam, I travel the diagonal, I recover, which sets me up for this side. 1, 2, I'm loading my body, and I transfer that weight to this side. Okay, so if I were to do this empty hand, okay, the first one was side to side, so side to side, side to side. Now I'm going to include the diagonal. Bam, I include the diagonal strike right here. It loads diagonal this way. Boom, so that's my figure 8 right there. So essentially those are uppercuts in boxing. So yes, boxing uses figure 8, using your pelvic girdle and your legs combined, you're doing uppercuts here now, okay? So using the same logic, we went side to side, we went diagonal, now we could do diagonal down. If we do diagonal up, coming from here to there, we can also go from there to here. Okay, I'm going bottom, top, all right? So I just came up this way. I load down, bottom, top, okay? And then instead of loading down from here, I'm going to go 1, 2. I just came back down the same direction. So 1, 2, diagonal, 1, 2, came down. 1, 2, came up, 1, 2, came down. All right, so the important thing is to go ahead and go 1, 2, you come up, and then 1, 2, you come down. So I'm traveling a diagonal line. So now we have side to side, diagonal, diagonal, which is a figure 8, and then we have diagonal, back down, diagonal. Okay, so you have a lot to play with there. All right, so now you have a lot to play with. Okay, you have side to side, you have diagonals, which actually make a figure 8. These are your uppercut figure 8s, and then you have diagonals coming back down this way, coming back down that way. So that's a lot to play around with. So go slow and mix it up together. So do something like this. So you start off like this, and I'm going 1, 2. That was sideways. 1, 2. That was sideways again. Now let's go diagonal. 1, 2. I went diagonal up, and now I'm going to come back diagonal down. Bam, bam, right here. I'll go diagonal again. Bam, bam. And now I'll go this way, come diagonal this way. Boom. And then I can change it to a sideways. Okay. And then sideways again. Now I'll actually come up here and go 1, 2. Okay, so that was a diagonal coming down. So like that, mix it up and get some practice that way. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.